and the abundant maples carpeted the ground with gold. I should have breathed a sigh of relief, but I remained deeply unsettled. The dream felt like a bad omen. Downstairs, I found Charles preparing to go out shooting. He looked marvelous in his tweed Norfolk jacket, his frame tall and lean and graceful, and he was pulsing with energy. That was Charles for you, always the well-groomed gentleman on the outside, but underneath there was a streak of wildness to him. He was a man who followed his impulses. I always felt so small standing beside him. I was especially petite, but it was more than that. I was often so overwhelmed by him that I felt dwarfed by his presence. He took one look at me and rushed over to take my hands in his. "Millie, dear, you look like you've seen a ghost. Are you all right?" His green eyes were soft. I was still shaken, and I clung to him. "I had an awful nightmare, that's all. I'm just so worried about this evening. I want it to be everything you've hoped for." He stroked my cheek, then my neck, and my skin tingled under his fingertips. "Don't be a silly goose." I should have been excited. I'd planned every last detail of the event. Our menu that evening would include triplets of oysters, caviar, turtle soup, fresh fish, stuffed young turkey with cranberry sauce, leg of mutton, and prime rib. Every wood surface gleamed, thanks to the ministrations of a small army of maids, and it wasn't hyperbole to say that the house positively sparkled. The chandeliers, the crystal glasses, the mirrors, the gleaming mullioned windows, which sunshine poured through. For some reason it brought to mind the fancy dress ball at Cherry's where I'd first met Charles, of the lights shining on the gilded walls and the twinkle of jewels. I'd dressed as the Greek goddess Persephone, and when Charles had shown up as Hades, it had seemed like fate. "I'm going to wear the Bonaparte earrings tonight," I told him, still a little breathless from his touch. He'd given me the precious ruby and diamond pair as an engagement present, and they'd once belonged to Napoleon's wife, Josephine, or at least so the dealer claimed. Charles had told me that together we'd be the envy of everyone in the city, and he'd kissed me. The type of kiss that was bold, even for a newly engaged couple. I may have been inexperienced, but with him I'd understood what desire was. We'd been married within a month. "I hoped you would. They can be your good luck charm," he said, his mustache twitching as he smiled. "Not that you need it. You've outdone yourself. It's going to be splendid." The compliment made me flush with pleasure. The house was good enough for us, his expression seemed to say. We, who deserved the best of everything, who needed a house as glamorous and illustrious as we were. He took a step back to assess me. "And you're splendid, too. Evanson is going to be green with envy. All that money, and somehow he ended up with a woman who looks just like Ajax." I couldn't help laughing. Charles knew just how to lighten my mood. Ajax was Charles's favorite horse growing up, and the ancient thoroughbred still mouldered in our stables in the city. "Don't be cruel." "How am I cruel? I adore Ajax. Do you suppose Mrs. Evanson is fond of apples?" "There is to be apple tart among the desserts." "See, you think of everything. Nothing could possibly go wrong." He kissed me, a long kiss that made me wonder if he meant to delay his outing. Never mind that we had guests in the house. It was the sort of reckless thing he might do. But he did let me go, reluctantly. The dream lingered in my mind for the rest of the day. A few of our guests, not fortunate enough to have a nearby estate, were staying at our house for the weekend, and while the men were out shooting, it fell to me to entertain the women. Rebecca Wainwright was older and a terrible bore. Straight-spined, proper, and a teetotaler. I liked Gertrude Underhill even less. She'd had her sights set on Charles before I did.